questions about Instagram and stuff. So hopefully I can give you guys some good information that you can take away and apply to your Instagram accounts to help you grow it, to help get more interaction. I will tell you, I'm not like an Instagram expert. I'm constantly trying to learn and tweak things myself, but I have been learning, and I will share that stuff with you guys. Just take it to know that these are things I'm telling myself too. I'm not perfect at all of this stuff. So as far as announcements go, we are coming up on Summit, which is super exciting. Ashton, what you need, babe? Sorry, y'all. Hang on.
Burgers are ready. Babe.
Okay, sorry. Kids. She like stands outside my door and stares at me, and it distracts me until I answer her. And I'm still solo parenting. My husband's trying to get out of here to head back to San Marcos tonight, so he's busy. Where was I at? Oh, announcement. So Summit's coming up in like, what, a month and a half, you guys, which is super crazy. It's coming up so fast. I am excited. I don't know about you, but I am ready for Summit. I'm ready for the energy that Summit brings. I hope you're going. If you're not going, get a ticket to go next year whenever they announce it. So they will announce that at Summit, so be on the lookout for that. And get your ticket as soon as they announce it, even if you don't know right now if you can make it, okay? Sometimes the tickets are transferable anyway, but you have a whole year to figure it out, to figure out childcare, to save money, to pay for your trip. Get there. I've heard that too, Sherry. It is not confirmed, but I have heard that rumor. But Summit is incredibly powerful. I'm going to put a plug in for that right now. Get yourself there. Hang on, someone's not muted. Where is it? Keep hearing. It looks like everyone's muted though. Anyway, get yourself there. It's fun. You will be able to watch some of the stuff live. There should be a link. There usually is. So be on there so you can catch the energy at least digitally. But we are also going to be, if you're going to Summit, we're going to a Go Ape Adventures. I can probably fit a few more people onto that sign-up sheet. They have been so sweet to open up another window for our group to come because we have so many people. They're actually opening early for us. So that'll be about a 2 to 3 hour thing on Thursday. We're going to have prizes. We're going to have lunch afterwards. And then we're going to all go get dressed for the grand opening for Summit. So it's so fun. I can't wait to do that with you guys. And then we are going to be gearing up right after, well, no, at the end of June, before Summit, is the deadline for us to start working towards our Diamond Retreat. I think the start date for qualifying for that is June 27th. And I'll have to pull up the flyer and bump it up into Dream Big, or if somebody wants to find it and bump it up in there, you can. But our leadership retreat for Dream Big this year, we're actually going to Colorado. In the past, we've gone to Florida. This year, we're changing up. We're going to the mountains, and it's going to be in the fall. It's mid-November. I actually don't remember the dates exactly. It's around November 14th. But it's going to be a great time. We have Josh Coates coming, who many of you have seen some of his stuff. He's going to be doing some training for us. And then we have Ashley Shaw, who's coming. Many of you have been a part of her trainings, and she helps with social media. And I've been talking back and forth with her on what is the best content to help you all with. And I would actually, thank you, Deanne, November 7th through 10th. I would actually love to hear from you as well, some things that you would like to learn from Ashley, because she's going to really gear the content towards what our team needs. So I'm going to be working with Nicole Grafton, who is one of our 5-star coaches on our team. I'm going to be talking with her in about a week, and we're going to come up with some sort of group or plan to help those who are pushing towards the retreat, to give you guys some support to earning your way there. The best way to get there, get yourself to Diamond and making sure that you are hitting Success Club. That's going to help you earn points towards the leadership retreat. And then after that, we'll have some wild cards based on what availability we have left with spots. Okay. All right. So that's it. Let's dive into Instagram. Understanding social media in general is a little bit overwhelming. And it's always changing. So it can be frustrating. It's like the moment you figure it out, something changes. Like Facebook, I used to run ads. I would just, figure them out on my own. They were pretty simple to do. I would actually get pretty good feedback from them and find new people. And then things started to shift and I was just like, what in the world? So that's changed. Facebook, you can really only run ads if you have a like page. And honestly, that is the only reason that you should really be bothering with a like page is the availability to run ads. That's the only reason I have mine, is for when I want to run ads. Interaction is going to be better on your personal page. We'll dive into that a little bit more later. But understanding the why and the what of each social media platform is important. And you're just, unless you're just Superwoman, you're not going to be able to do them all. Okay, you need to pick like 2 platforms to focus on because there's everything from Facebook to Pinterest to YouTube. You could do a blog, which isn't technically social media, but all of these things that feel like they're pulling us in a million directions. But right now, Instagram is where it's at, right? A few years ago, oh, y'all, what's his name? I'm going blank. The guy who spoke at Summit, and he was all about Snapchat. Remember that? Gary Vee, yes. He talked about Snapchat, and that was the thing. And I don't know. I don't really feel like I need to be on Snapchat, but maybe the young people do. But Instagram is where 70% of people on social media are on Instagram stories. So that's why Instagram right now is so important for you to be a part of. Now, if I'm not saying this to stress you out, if you're not already on Instagram or you don't have a big following, start with what you have, and it's just, it is a process. You have to grow it, just like you have to grow a Facebook account. I have been working at my Instagram consistently, probably 2.5 years. Stories, I would say I've been consistent with for only about a year. So it's pretty new to me too, especially stories. But if you're not working on growing over on Instagram, you're going to be hitting a ceiling in your business. Could that change in a year or two? Maybe, but right now that's where it's at. So Instagram and Facebook are a little bit different, okay? So Facebook, the best way to describe it, that's more for your warm and your hot market. Generally, Facebook's used for connecting with people that you know who are in your life. Do I meet new people on Facebook? Absolutely. But on Instagram, it's a little bit colder, maybe lukewarm if they're starting to engage on my stuff type of relationships. And I'm able to find people through Instagram that I would have never been able to find on Facebook. It would be really difficult. That's what's so unique about Instagram is because of the hashtags and just the way it was developed is that we can search. We can find people to connect with who are like us. And so while I fought it for a while because I did not want to have to deal with Instagram, Facebook was my jam. I'm still pretty involved in Facebook, but I still prefer it, to be honest. But because I'm a business builder, this is my business, it's my responsibility. I have learned Instagram and I'm still learning it, and I am constantly trying to get better at it. Bye, babe. Love you. So I've learned to like it, and I love doing stories now, whereas at first I was like, oh my gosh, seriously, I gotta do these stories? Like another thing, is this really necessary? I don't want to do it. Now I like it. Like it's fun, because it's so easy. I can just show silly things that are happening throughout my day. I can talk to people through it. I don't feel like I have to be really scripted. In fact, I would tell you not to be, because that's where people really get to connect with you and see you, not the whole groomed version that we try to show on our pictures on Instagram. So let's dive in specifically. I'm going to share my Instagram on my phone. I'm really excited that this is so easy to do, that I can show you guys my phone screen. Okay. Can y'all see it? Cool. Isn't that awesome? All right. So let's talk about, first of all, your Instagram handle, which is your name. Oh, I'm trying to click it on the Zoom. I got to click it on my phone. So there we go. So, you know, you can come up with a creative name, but my recommendation is to make sure that you're searchable. That if somebody wants to find you on Instagram, they can. They can look you up. And it's easy to remember. I think that that's important too. You know, sometimes people, I mean, for example, my friend Ruth Schauner, she used to be, what was it, Get Ginger Fit. I liked that. It was fun. I can remember that about her because I know her and she's got red hair. But she did eventually change it to Ruth Schauner. But my suggestion would be to keep it simple with your name. Let me see. We've got chat. Oh, thank you. Congrats, almost 10,000. I'm excited about that too. I've been waiting for that 10,000 mark to get there. So hang on. Let me move the chat box. I can see both. Okay. So pick something you like. Don't put a bunch of underscores in there, because that's going to make it hard for people. You know, sometimes when I'm trying to find someone that I've been talking to on Instagram and I'm having to put in all these underscores, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's hard to type in their name and get it right. Now, the other thing I get asked a lot is, should I make it public or private? Make it public. If there's creepers, just block them. That's what I do. I just block them so they can't get to my stuff. And I don't really have a lot. I've been lucky on Instagram. I don't really have a lot of weird creepers who come to my Instagram page. If I see someone following my stories and I'm like, I'm not so sure about that person, usually it's a guy that, you know, obviously I'm not going to connect with, I may just block them. But if I feel uncomfortable about it. But think about window shopping, okay? You know, people are deciding to follow you based on what they're going to see in the first few rows of your pictures and what they're going to see in your bio as well. But they're going to scan these first few pictures and decide from there, like, am I going to follow this person? And so if they can't see your pictures, then they may not ever decide to come in, right? So you need to make it public, and that also is going to allow you, well, the next step is having a business account, okay? So have it public, and then a business account I recommend, because it gives you access to insights. And there's really no reason to not have a business account. And so insights are right here. So if you click these little lines and you go to insights, they're really interesting because you can see, when do you have, like, what days of the week do you have the most engagement on your page? Let's see. You can go to content. I always think this is interesting to see, you know, what are some of your top posts? So these are all showing all posted in a 1 year, sorted by engagement. So this one, you know, actually this one, sharing my income, got really good engagement. It used to be when I bought my new car. I don't know where that one is now, but it's funny, you know, people just liked seeing that on my page. But so that's good to see, you know, to notice, what does your audience like to see from you? You can learn about your audience. So, I haven't looked at this actually, to be honest, in a little bit, but top locations, New York and Houston. I have no idea why New York's on there, but that's cool, huh? But this also shows me the age range, this is good to know. I'm hitting my niche market age. Most of the people that are engaging with my page are in, you know, between 25 and age of 44, mostly women. So that's just useful content to be able to look at and know that you're hitting the right market that you want to be reaching out to. Let's see. Oh, another thing is that now likes don't mean as much as interactions do. Meaning you want more, Instagram's leaning more towards wanting engagement on your page, actual comments, actually swiping pictures if you have a carousel post, actually, engaging with your stories. That is what they're watching more so than just likes. So I know sometimes I still like to see that I'm getting a lot of likes, but as far as the algorithms go, interaction and getting responses means more. All right, so let's talk about your bio. So I've tweaked mine a few times, just trying to narrow it down to who I am. Don't put Beachbody in your bio. Don't do that, okay? I love Beachbody. I really do. I bleed Beachbody blue, but you don't want to put it in your bio because some people may see that and be like, oh, she's going to be selling me something. It's a Beachbody coach. So you're limited, of course, in the amount of characters you can use. You want it to be intriguing. You want it to be catchy and interesting, but also something that when people go and look at it, that it matches like your top 9 photos as well, okay? I keep trying to scan on Zoom and not on my phone. But, you think about, okay, what's your favorite magazine? Does anybody have any favorite magazines they like to read? Oh, good, Patsy, you found it. Tell me a magazine. Does anybody even read magazines anymore? I mean, okay, Runner's World. So if you were in a Runner's World magazine and you're scanning through and you see an ad for, I don't know, horses. And, it doesn't fit the magazine, right? And so same thing with our page. You want your bio to capture mostly what you're going to see on your page. What are they going to expect from your content in your post? Home magazines, yeah. So you're really wanting your pictures to kind of be like a magazine or blog type quality. And so we'll dive into that more later, but your top 9 pics should definitely be capturing what your bio is about. Let's see, I said that. Okay, so another thing that people ask is, can you post the same thing on Facebook as you do on Instagram? So you can post anything that you post on Instagram, you can most definitely post on Facebook. Don't share it, because if you share it from Instagram to Facebook, Facebook's not going to give it as good of a reach because they were seeing that as like a third-party type of post, okay? You want to copy paste. I know that's an extra step, but it really doesn't take that long. It's nice that you can, post the same thing both places. Now, there's certain things on Facebook that I won't post on Instagram, just because it doesn't fit my top 5 things that I might be about. Maybe it's not, I don't know. Your pictures on Instagram need to be very pretty. They just need to look good. All of my Instagram posts they have a filter on them because again, it's that magazine look. That's not really necessary on Facebook, but Instagram was designed to share pictures. And so you want your page to pop. You get to decide what that feel looks like. I would say mine's very bright. Obviously, I have a lot of blue. It matches my workout room wall color. And so that's kind of the vibe you get from my page. I've played around with it a lot. And if you scroll back, you can probably see like, oh, I kind of changed. There was a point where I changed my page. But as far as filters, you can use Instagram filters. Some of them are great, right? But whatever you pick, be consistent with it. I actually use Lightroom. Lightroom you can purchase on Etsy, like little recipes, basically. I guess that's what you call them, that help you put together a filter. I actually got my filter from Ashley Molstad. She has the link to the 2 filters that she likes on her Instagram account. And I was like, oh, cool. I always love her, the way her pictures look. So I purchased the filters that she's been using. And I applied them to my Lightroom. And so it's a preset saved in there. So every picture I pull into Lightroom, I put the filter on it, and it's fun. It makes my pictures really pop. Like I thought that this, this one of Caitlin and I outside, the color is just pretty cool. A lot different than it was before I had that filter on there. So it just makes everything bright and fun. So you get to decide what kind of vibe you want. Like, let's see, like Ruth, hers, it's white, right? Like I get more of a white feel from hers. And I remember she changed hers a while back. Like I remember going to her page and like, whoa, she's just kind of like, it was very drastic that she had changed her whole vibe on her page. Like you scroll way back, see? So here she's more bright, and then I guess she decided she wanted to change her look. And so you can scroll and see, okay, here's where it starts to shift. And she went to more, let's see, kind of a white filter, I guess is the way I would describe it. But see how it's very consistent once she changed it, right? So that's something fun you can play around with. And once you find something you like, just stick to it and use that all the time. All right, so let's go back to kind of that magazine idea and knowing what is the best thing to post on Instagram and figuring out how to narrow in on that audience. And this will also help you with hashtags. So what I want y'all to do now, I'm gonna stop share for a second. And desktop. So I wanted to share with you all this color wheel, and I meant to give you guys this to print out before the call, but you can get the idea. So this color wheel is a great tool. Actually, I could probably post, well, I guess the link's not gonna help you because you need to print it, but you can make a list, same idea. Be colorful, meaning you're not all just fitness. We talk about having your top 5 things, but if we all are just so generic and say faith, family, fitness, fun, and food, like everybody posts about those things, right? That's too generic. And so you want to figure out what are some more specific things that you can bring to your audience that make you really different than other Beachbody coaches. Because we all love fitness. We all love, eating healthy. We're working on it anyway. And we all love our Shakeology. But what makes you truly different? So there's a chat. And so, do you allow email phone when changing to? Sorry. Oh, okay, sorry. So I want you guys to take about, look, I'll give you like 3 minutes, and I just want you to brainstorm. I'm not going to turn music on because then YouTube will not let me upload this video. So we're just going to sit in quiet, but I want y'all to just brainstorm for a few minutes some things that are more unique to you. Like, for example, for me, I'm a mom of 4 girls. That makes me unique. I love Malibu and water. That's our team joke. But I have a husband in the military, and he's a pilot, and there's things that I could talk about there. I have 2 Yorkies. Maybe you are a yoga lover. I'm trying to think of some other ideas for you guys. Maybe you like to travel. Where do you like to travel to? What's a hobby that you have? So just come up with some of those ideas and just brainstorm for just like 3 minutes, some things that are more specific to you. Try to think outside the box, okay? And if y'all think of some ideas here, put them in the chat as well. So I think that sometimes helps other people kind of get their thought process going as well. So I'm putting some ideas in here too. Erin says she's struggling. All I have. Only child love blue and blue hair. I always love sort of chapstick and never wear. I mean, Erin, those right there are definitely things that are specific to you. I think that's good. Preschool child, preschool teacher, mom to only child, wake up basically middle of the night. Gardening, cooking with kids. Yeah, all of these things are really good. Yeah, I mean, I would think if you like to color your hair a certain color, that's fun, you know. Tattoos, you know, anything that's very specific to you that makes you stand out are all good things. So you guys kind of get the idea. So you want to pick like your top 5 that you tend to share on Instagram. And then you can mix it up a little bit more on Facebook. But Instagram, try to keep it to like 5 things that your audience really knows to expect from your magazine. So I'm going to go back to sharing my Instagram here for just a second. Okay, there it goes. Sherry, are you proud of me? My phone is actually charged. Sometimes she's like, charge your phone. Okay, so picture quality, we kind of talked about this, but the pictures on your page need to be awesome. They need to stand out. The cool thing is that you can post less than you did before. You know, we used to say you need to post like 3 to 5 times a day. Really, like when I work with a company named 21 Social. They are actually helping me growing my Instagram account, which I'll talk to you all about in a minute. But one of the things they said, they really only wanted me posting 1 time a day. They're like, you just need to post 1 time a day. Don't do so much. And that's hard. I do generally post twice a day. It's very hard for me to only post 1 time a day. But just 1 good, valuable post a day. They actually say, less is more. You don't really need to say a whole lot in your post. You want to keep it brief. I'm not always really good about that, but you can share your story more in your actual, talking in your IG stories, but keep it brief. I like how Shalene always says, be brief, be bright, and be done. Some filters, we talked a little bit about that. You can use Instagram filters, some other things you can use besides just Lightroom. I mean, there's VSCO, there's Snapseed. If anybody has any other great apps that they like to use, put them in the chat, but those are some of the ones I use the most. Now I pretty much just use my Lightroom filters. 113 texts. Yeah, I didn't even notice I had 113 texts. Okay. So less is more on your post. Another thing, and I don't think you guys do this, but just don't ever copy someone's post and repost it. You can use other people's posts for inspiration. I like looking at people's posts to see how they frameworked their story, but make it my own story when I post it, but kind of how the flow of their story went, and then use my story. So that's, and of course, using ideas on how people, share Shakeology, or how they share their workouts in a way that's adding value. Use that to teach yourself, but share your own words. Content and your consistency is king. Consistency is so important on both Facebook and Instagram. If you have not shared something that shows that you have some sort of value, can add me in health and fitness or in a business, if I can't see that in your first few posts, either on Facebook or Instagram, there's a problem. Like, I shouldn't have to scroll back 2 weeks to see that you're working out. Like, that needs to be very quick, that I can come to your page and catch on, oh, wow, like this girl, like she's working out. Maybe she's got something I could join. Could this person help me? You have no doubt looking at my page that fitness is a part of my life, and that, oh, maybe this girl, could help me a little bit, right? Hashtags, use hashtags, but don't put them in your post. If you're not using hashtags, you're missing out on the ability to connect with people and for people to be able to find you through hashtags. You can put like a couple of them in your post for emphasis, like for example on this one, healthy treats, hashtag all the peanut butter, hashtag almost Martha, hashtag Powerballs. Okay. So notice how it wasn't like hashtag fitness. We'll talk a little bit more about hashtags, but a little more specific in my hashtags. And then the rest of my hashtags, which you can put up to 30, are here in the comments. Okay, so you don't want to flood your actual post with a bunch of hashtags, but definitely put them in the comments. From what I heard on a podcast with Shalene Johnson, her son is like a social media guru. He helps her. He talked about trying to get those hashtags into the comments within the first 4 seconds that you post. How do you do that so fast? I have my hashtag saved in my keyboard text replacement. Okay. So I have a lot of text replacement things in here, and I adjust them from time to time. So right now I have 3 sets of hashtags that if I just want to real quick generate my hashtags, HT1, and I'll do that set of hashtags. Okay. So that's a quick way. So you just want to come up with some hashtags that work for you and save those where you can get to them quickly. So let's talk about hashtags, because I think that that's where a lot of people get stuck. Because they're like, I'm using hashtags or I'm searching hashtags. Everybody's a coach that's following me. So the reason that probably is that you're using too general of hashtags. So if you look at mine, just to get some ideas, I mean, a few of them are about fitness, like IG Fit Mama, right? But they're a little bit more honed in. They don't have to necessarily go with what the post is about, okay? I need to fix that hashtag down at the bottom, actually. That one's messed up. But you want to search for hashtags that are an audience of about, 20,000, maybe up to 50,000 and under. If you're doing hashtags that are, 1 million people are using it, you're going to get lost in the shuffle really quick because Instagram moves so fast. And we'll demonstrate that in a second. Watch for shadow banned hashtags. Now, the difficult thing about that is that some of the hashtags out there that are shadow banned are, Greg's texting Ashley and me. Some of the ones that are shadow banned are ones that you're like, really? Like that one's shadow banned? Like, I think Thanksgiving was one of them. And so how do you kind of avoid that? Try to use hashtags that are smaller audiences, not so generic like fitness. So a shadow banned hashtag, if you use hashtags that are shadow banned, then your content then may not be put into the feed. It won't show it to new people. I think, maybe someone can correct me, I think like the hashtag, if you like hashtag booty, I'm pretty sure that that's like a banned hashtag. So I had an article at one point, I can find it. How do you know if they are? I think you can search them. Like I think, I don't want to search hashtag booty because that probably could pull up some bad things. But again, like you just want to try to avoid ones that have too big of audiences. But you can search, like probably Google, what are some some shadow banned hashtags out there and kind of get an idea of what they might look like. But what you can do to try to get yourself more narrowed. So you can go to tags. Let's do like fitness, okay? So you can see, obviously, you know, some of these have huge amounts of people who are using them, okay? So let's try fitness mom, and it will generate some hashtags that are a little bit more narrowed down. I mean, hashtag fitness mama, see, that one is more narrowed to 15,000, which I'm actually surprised at that. That seems pretty, it seems like pretty common one that people would use. So then you could, you know, see if any of these people are not already coaches. Let me go to one that's not about fitness. Let's see. I'm just going to use one of the ones I've used. Air Force Wife Life. So you can see this is a pretty narrowed down audience, only 4,009 posts, okay? Let's go to this girl and see. No, she's actually a coach, looks like to me. She's got a diamond shirt on. She looks like a coach too. Bad example. But you can look through and try to find some people that's like, oh, maybe I could connect with that person, you know? So I could go here. Okay, she's got some cute puppies. I also want to pay attention to, okay, so she's in the United States, Spokane, Washington, because you want to look at where they're tagging their location. Because if it's in a country that, you know, Beachbody's not going to be able to give them support in, you know, they won't ship to or whatever, then not that I don't want to connect with that person, it just might not be the right niche right now. So then, okay, if this looks like someone that's like, okay, this person's fun, like I could see myself going to have lunch with them. Like I would want to then comment, you know, like some of their pictures and comment like, super cute pic. Y'all are adorable. And I'm totally showing my Texas side. She's in Washington. And I'm like, y'all are adorable. Okay. And then I could follow her. And then she may follow me back. Okay. So she's an Air Force wife, Washington. Not a minimalist. I love that. That's super fun. So that's how you can kind of search around for people that you would want to connect with. And it just takes some practice finding hashtags that work for you. Maybe you go to a big page that you like, or someone else, a friend that you feel like's in your niche. Like that person I just went to, I could go to what is she hashtagging? And then go to those hashtags and see if that particular hashtag that she's using, if that seems like an audience that I could now use that hashtag to go and interact with. Does that make sense? The other thing you can do is search for people in your area. So, so I went to places. I'm going to do League City. So some people who have tagged League City, Texas lately, you know, and then I could go, they look like kids. You can kind of look for people who are in your area that you might want to interact with. So, like, this person looks fun. Okay. Founder of Sunkissed Sunco. She's got a little baby. So again, this will be someone that I could follow, that I could connect with by commenting on our pictures. Think about CCQ, which means compliment, connect, and ask a question. Okay, so it's just a way for you to kind of remember how to generate conversation, whether that's in their post, or maybe you compliment something in their post and you like a few things, and then you ask them a question in their inbox and their DMs. Great. What other questions do you guys about hashtags so far? That help a little bit, kind of narrowing down. I mean, it takes a little bit of time just playing around with it and searching out different hashtags and looking at who's using those hashtags and seeing if those work for you. And then once you have a group of them, you know, then you want to save them, okay? And then change them up from time to time. Don't use them forever, never change them up. You do want to change your hashtags. That's why I have like 3 different sets of them. So I'm not always just using the same ones, because I do think, I've heard that if you're always using the same hashtags all the time, that could get you shadow banned. So I don't know if that's true, but I think you want to definitely change it up. And I think it helps too with building your audience. But hashtags are used to find people, and they're for helping people to find you. Oh, I did want to demonstrate, and I'll answer the stories thing in a second, you guys. Go ahead and go to your Instagram. And I want just to show you, put on one of your pictures, hashtag fitness. I don't know if it'll let me. I may have too many here. Just put hashtag fitness. Can y'all go do that? Raise your hand whenever you've done hashtag fitness on your Instagram. And then let's go and search it now. Hashtag fitness is right here. 343 million. So let's see if we can see any of us on here. Tell me if you see yourself. Anybody yet? I don't see me yet. Anybody seen themselves? You can unmute. So that's an example of it's just too broad of an audience, right? Let's see here.
I did not see myself.
Who was that?
That was Madison.
Either. I'm gonna go Christian family values. So that one, I'm the number 3 there. I'm actually here again. So there's an interesting picture, but you can see that was more narrowed, so I didn't get lost so quickly. Healthy mama. Here's my friend Lori. There's Sherry. Let's see.
I just did the values as well, that family values. See if it came up.
You did family values?
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. That's another way too to check if you are shadow banned. If you search a hashtag you're using and you're not showing, then you know you may have been shadow banned. You see yourself, Yelena?
Not yet. Is that pretty immediate or it just takes time?
No, it can be pretty immediate. So anyway, so play around with it, see. Did I have family values in here?
I think you did.
Another one. Teacher wife,
Even just using Fit Mama, there's so many.
Yeah. A lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, like if you can leave a lot of fitness off. I mean, I have some mixed in there, but you know, obviously a lot of coaches are going to be using fitness. And so if you want to try to narrow in on your audience and find people outside of coaching, you want to have a lot of hashtags that have nothing to do with fitness. Describe your other things like on your color wheel, for example. Now, Sherry, I think you did this too. And one thing you guys could do if you're just like, oh my gosh, these hashtags are stressing me out. Then, yeah, Sherry says 188,000 is huge. You know, 21 Social is something they're using. They're helping me with my account with building it and finding they're bringing people to my page who are liking my page. And then I have it set with them that it auto messages them. And then I pick up the conversation. What they do have is, I think it's a $50 package. Is that right, Sherry? Do you remember? That you can pay and fill out this form about yourself, and they'll generate a bunch of very unique hashtags that you can use. And that's really helpful. I mean, I know that, you know, it's $50 investment, but, you know, it'll save you some time. And it was very helpful for me to have them do that.
And that was 21 Social?
Yes, that was on 21 Social that I did that. They have that little package you can buy. So, and you know, you can use companies like that. I mean, I feel like it's worked pretty good for me as far as bringing me the right niche, because they know my target audience. We've talked about that. I've given them information about myself and who I am and who I want to attract. And so they've helped with that. To me, I view it as like having an assistant for my Instagram, because that's exactly what it is. So that's always helping me have people in my inbox and new followers I can reach out to. But, you know, at the same time, if you're like, well, I just don't have the money to invest in a program like that, this can totally be grown organically as well. I think getting the right hashtags and setting a time block for yourself every day, or maybe it's once a week that you spend a longer block of time where that's your focus, is just finding new people. Now, you can't go follow people too fast, because then Instagram's gonna be like, whoa, you're doing that feature too quickly, that we're gonna block you from that. But so maybe if you set like a 20-minute block of time a day, that's what you go do, is just search for new people to follow, interact with. Because again, engagement is key. You know, having a whole lot of likes or even a whole lot of followers, if those followers aren't your niche and they're not actually engaging with your page, then it's not really doing what you want it to do anyway. I mean, I was paying for 21 Social for a little bit for them to do these power likes to get extra likes on your posts. I think it helped get you in the Explore page. And I was like, turn that off, because all of the likes were just fake accounts. So it was doing nothing. I was just like, this is pointless. I would rather have 40 likes from actual real people that I like to connect with versus, 2,000 likes from a bunch of fake accounts just because it looks cool to have a bunch of likes. It was not helping me grow anything.
And that's how I felt about STEM Social. And they, like, in a matter of a day, they went and followed like 3,000 people that then I had to go in and unfollow because they had nothing to do with what I was about.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. That's a lot at once.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, because I used STEM for a little bit, but I started hearing some things, just problems that were going on with them. So far I've like 21 and I'm in the middle package, so it's not too fast. So far it's been okay, but I just can't go and like a bunch of posts because that can set things off with them in Instagram. Okay, so y'all understand algorithms? Do you know what that means when I say algorithm? Basically, it's the math formula that social media uses to determine how and why and who's seeing your post. Going back to like pages, I said at the beginning, you don't really need to be spending time on a like page. Put your energy into your personal page and your Instagram. If you have the money to spend running ads, great. I've wasted a whole lot of money on ads. I play around with them a little bit here and there. I am trying to get one up, but it's tedious. And again, running an ad, you're viewing it as this is bringing new people in I can connect with. Most of the time people aren't, clicking an ad and purchasing something right from the get-go. It's a relationship thing. This business is very much about building relationships and connecting with people and building that trust by your consistency and showing up and taking the time to add value to them. Because Facebook, the business page, it literally shows about 1% of your posts. Or shows your content to like 1% of your audience, unless you're paying. So it's just, it's a tedious kind of pain in the butt thing, honestly. Your energy, Instagram stories, number one, is where you need to be showing up. Then Instagram Live, then IGTV. I'll be honest, I'm not real good about those last two things. I need to I need to work on going live on Instagram more. I think that it would probably help with more engagement and more people looking at my stories, Then your post, okay? So stories, IG Live, IGTV, then posts, order of importance on Instagram. One thing I heard recently, I kind of mentioned this at the beginning, carousel posts are good. So what does that mean? That means, let me see if I have someone here. I don't know if I've done one in a while. Okay, here's one, results loading. So do you guys see there's that little white square at the top of where it says results loading? That means it's a carousel post. Why this is good is that Instagram sees this as engagement because they have to go here and swipe. So that's engaging with my post. So that Instagram likes that. They're like, ooh, they clicked it and they swiped. That means they liked that person. So that's something to make your posts do better. Maybe you do like, I don't know, a DIY type thing, or how to cook something, and you could show like step 1, step 2, step 3, and people have to swipe, something like that. I've seen people do like a picture from their workout and then do like a few video clips that people can swipe through and watch. So, video is good for your posts, but really not as good as it used to be because now we have Instagram stories. That's kind of more where it's at. Okay, so now let's talk about stories and things to do there. I like this acronym that Chalene Johnson used. I know some of you have heard this, but I actually forget about it a lot, and I need to go back to remembering it. But she uses this acronym called REDIC, REDIC. So R stands for every day in your stories. You want to share something that's relatable, something that your audience is going to be like, oh, like I'm like that person. I get that. You know, whether it's, you know, for me, I talk, this should actually go in my color wheel. I talk a lot about using dry shampoo. I love dry shampoo. That's like one of my key things as a mama. And so that's relatable to my audience for sure. They like that. What was it I posted the other day? Oh, I posted a picture of my kids at Chick-fil-A and in my stories, and Brooklyn was trying to take a picture and hug Caitlin, and Caitlin was basically like stabbing her with the fork, pushing her away, and someone actually commented, oh, this is super relatable. Like, they like that. Like, hey, this is real life, you know? So R is relatable. E, educational. Teach them something in your post. D, create some sort of dialogue, something that maybe they, you know, message you about. Ask them a question maybe. Interactional. So is I. So something like a poll or the little swipey thing. Let's see. I don't know if I have a swipey thing right now. This is Ashlyn. This is relatable. This is Ashlyn shoving a fake snake under the bathroom door, and now my dad shoving a frog, an actual real frog, under the bathroom door last night. But let's see. So if y'all know what the swipey things are, right? So if I was gonna post, I already posted this, but just to show you an example, I'm not gonna post it again. So you could do like this, you know, do you love that? You know, I don't know, ask a question. So sometimes I'll be like, do you like Taylor Swift? You know, if I'm talking about that, she's something else that I like to talk about a lot in my stories. And people can, that gives them something to interact with. Capture, okay, that's the C in Reddit. Call to action, that's giving like a call to action or referring them to a link or a post that you've done. So sometimes you can even, so if I wanted people to go look at this awesome transformation of Sherry and learn how they can join my challenge group, I can click this little arrow and say, add post to story. Check out this post to learn how she lost 70 pounds. Okay. And so that points people to my page. Okay. So that's a cool thing that you can do. So that's a call to action. The other thing you can do, I have Linktree. I've heard there's another link that you can use to do this similar thing. I don't know what it's called. I'll have to find out. But I mean, I like Linktree. I think it's cool. But this is free. You can go to Linktree, look them up, and I can put links to different things that I want to refer people to. So something I've been working on is, and I actually got this from Ashley Shaw, is pointing people to the free, easy, healthy recipes for kids. Oh, I need to fix, look at that picture. It's too small. But this points them to how to get it, and then they're going to insert their information into here, which is going to put them into an autoresponder in MailChimp to help me build my email list. You know, but you don't have to have a website to do something like this. Maybe you have a Google form, and you're wanting to refer people to your Google form to apply for your challenge group. You could connect that Google form link into your Linktree. So this is a link to our Facebook page for our sneak peek. So just some different things you can play around with on there. It's kind of cool. I don't have it linked to my Beachbody website, which I don't know. I mean, I guess you could, but I prefer to be able to actually like talk to people who are wanting to go to my website and order something, so I can kind of figure out what their need is and know that they've actually ordered via that. You know what I mean? Okay, so as far as stories go, a few other tips. regular intervals throughout the day. Don't just post all of your stories at one time in the morning and then you don't do anything the rest of the day. You want to do, some in the morning, maybe mid-morning, lunchtime, afternoon, evening. Mix it up, not all video or not just pics. And you want to assume that volume's off for people. 70% of the time, their volume's off on their phone. I do that when I'm looking at people's stories. I don't always listen to what they're saying because I'm usually doing something else at the same time, just kind of scrolling and wasting time. And so I don't always take the time to listen. So really, if you're doing a whole lot of talking, you really want to keep it more brief. Sometimes I get a little long-winded, but maybe add some words to when you are talking that maybe catch people's attention, like, "Ooh, I wonder what has to say about that." Like how do you go on vacation and not gain weight? Or how did I go on vacation and lose 3 pounds? That they're like, "Ooh, how did she do that?" So if you're talking, try to maybe add some words to it to get them to actually listen and turn the volume up. We talked about adding polls and questions. Keep people curious. Maybe if you're going to a concert or something, you just kind of show a little glimpse of it in your stories, but maybe you go live for them to see more of it. Assume that people read really slowly. So if you're adding words to your pictures, don't put like a whole lot of long stuff in one pic. So it looks really cool. Like you'll do want to lose weight this summer, first pic. Then that gets saved to your camera roll. Now we put it back into the stories. All by eating clean is the next word, and working out 20 minutes a day. So just like little pieces at a time, to where each time they click your story, a new, small set of words pops up. Does that make sense? Geotagging and hashtags in your stories. Yes, you definitely want to do that. You want to try to do it on all of them. So, which, occasionally I'm like lazy and I don't do it, but let's see. So if I wanted to post this, okay. So you can do tag your location, because that's going to help people in your area find you. Now, you don't have to tag your location. I could tag Dallas, Texas if I wanted to, okay? Maybe I want to target people in Dallas. And then I'm going to swipe that off the page. So it's still there, but I hit it. So now people can't see it. And then I have my hashtags saved in my text replacement. So there's my hashtags. Shrink them down, slide them off the page so people can't see it. They're still there, but nobody can see it. That again helps people using those hashtags find my stories. Now I could make this more fun. I could add haha, I don't know, someone laughing. Okay, so there we go. All right. Anybody have any questions? Does that help? I hope, give love to get love. Got to interact with people's stuff and comment on their pictures. I message all of my followers. Just reach out and say, hey, thanks so much for the follow. Are you into fitness too? That's my general one that 21 Social uses. But if it's not coming from them, then I do try to go to their page and find something that I can ask them that's very personable, that obviously shows that I took the time to go to their page and see who they are, right? Oh my gosh, I saw you guys went to Disney World. How was your trip? Your daughter's so cute. Just so they know I'm paying attention. And even with the auto message, if you use something like that, when I see that they've seen that message come through, and maybe they didn't respond, I go to their page, find something that I can relate to with that person, and then I'll go and pick up the conversation from there and try to get them to message me back. How did I get the polls, for example, on your IG stories? Let's see. It's just one of those features on here. Let's see. So poll. So what you did is I put my picture there and you just pull up, and then this gives you your different options. So here's the poll feature. So I could say, do you like champagne? You know, and then you could put that there. So, and then you're able to see, I don't know if I have a poll. Do I have a poll in there right now? Let me see. I don't know if I did a poll today, but you can click and see whenever you do have a poll, you can click and see who's clicked it by seeing right here at the bottom where it says seen by 109 so far. So I can go here and see who's been watching my stuff. And from here, let me show you guys this. I can click that little button like that, the little airplane looking thing, and then I can direct message her right from my stories. Which is cool too, because if I do like if I'm messaging somebody off of my workout post, for example, I could say, hey, have you considered joining in on the fun? Then they know what I'm talking about, because it will actually send that little clip into their DM along with my message. So it's not like totally random. Does that make sense? Or like if I said, like a call to action to joining my challenge group, if I message from right here, I can actually send them a picture with the call to action and, ask them about if they'd consider joining me. So that's pretty much it there. I think that's all I have as far as notes go.
Can you hear me, Kristen?
Yeah.
Can you show again how you did the story where you tagged one of your posts? You did that one really quick and I didn't see it.
So if I wanted to,
You talked about the post where you showed Sherry and then you tagged it.
Yeah, so you go to the post and see the little paper airplane.
Oh,
right here.
okay.
So click that and then add post to your story.
Oh.
And then there it is. So.
Okay. Erin and I were both asking that question.
Yeah.
Okay. I will often reference or just retake the picture and kind of make a separate story, but I didn't know that I could just say, check out my post directly. I didn't know I could do that.
Yes, I did not know that either. I kept looking for an additional plus sign or something, and I'm like, it's not giving me anything to add.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Oh my gosh. All right. I'm going to plug my headphones back in because my computer, it always sounds so loud and I feel like it's
no problem. All right. So I hope that helps. Just know that this takes time to grow. Consistency is super important. Give it time. Remember too that it takes time to build trust, people that are following you, and Instagram is a much colder, lukewarm market. But what I like too is I feel like because my page is pretty fitnessy focused, right? And adding value in that room. They're following me most likely because they want that inspiration. Like most people who I talk to in my DMs who are starting to follow me, they're like, yeah, I'm getting into fitness. I like following people for the inspiration. That's usually what they say. And so it's very easy and natural to strike up conversations about fitness and health from my Instagram page. Way easier than to bring that up on Facebook because they're following me on Instagram for that specific reason. Does that make sense? So to me, it's much more natural to be like, hey, I love your page. Thanks for the follow. Are you into fitness as well? And then, just pick it up right there. Now, does that mean they're going to join me in a challenge group that month? Maybe, maybe not. Most of the time, not. But again, my job is to continue to show up on their page. Remember, you have to give love to get love. Engage with them, build that relationship. Hopefully they'll keep watching my stories. I mean, I have people all the time that watch my stories every day, you know, and then all of a sudden they'll finally respond to one of my messages. So be patient with it. Have fun with it. Instagram stories, I think, is really fun because that's really where you get to just be you. I mean, you can be you in your post, but you know what I mean? Like, it's okay if your hair is messy and it doesn't need to be really groomed. People like to see that you're human. I mean, even on Facebook the other day, I posted about liking, was it champagne, you know? And someone was like, oh my gosh, you're human, you know? Like, I'm like, heck yeah, and I even showed I was out with my mom having a mimosa. Like, people need to see that this isn't about perfection. And that also helps with your future coaches, like people that you're talking to need to see that side of your life that, okay, if she can do this, I can do this too. All right, I'll let you go. Kept you long enough. Thank y'all for hanging out late with me tonight, but it was fun, and I was really glad to see all you guys. Can we do this? We'll do a little, I only have 8 people remaining. I talked too long. Let's stop share. We'll just do a quick picture. Okay? I'll do it with my phone, and then I'll post it in Dreambig. Cheese. All right. Good night, everybody. Have a good week.
Thank you.
You're welcome.